皆様、本日はお越しいただきまして、またオンラインの皆様お時間いただきまして誠にありがとうございます。私、Link-Jの安賀と申します。本日はLink-Jによるスタートアップ支援プログラムUnikornの第2期キックオフ Uk への新たな挑戦にご参加いただきましてありがとうございます。今年ですね、第2期を迎えまして、Link-JのUnikornプログラムと第2期ファミリーを紹介する本日のイベントですね、日本橋ライフサイエンスハブよりハイブリッドでお送りしております。では、お待たせいたしました。私、Link-J プロデューサーの安がひろこより、最初のご挨拶としまして簡単にお話しさせていただきます。はい、改めましてありがとうございます。本日お越しくださいまして、昨年1年間初めてやってまいりましたLink-JのUnikornというプログラムですけれども、おかげさまで2年目をやることが決まりまして、こうして今日を迎えることができました。今日は新たに、4社のUnikornファミリーが加わりまして、その方々のご紹介と、あとは後半パネルディスカッションで、UK 市場への魅力ですとか、グローバル展開への魅力の話ですとか、そういったところをパネルディスカッションで皆さんにお送りできればなと思っておりますので、よろしくお願いいたします。はい、ありがとうございます。で、ここまで日本語になりましたけれども、これから英語の進行とさせていただきます。基本的には英語ですけれども、一部日本語だったりすることもあるかと思いますので、同時通訳の方で、お聞きいただければと思います。So now I'd like to switch language to English. So now I'd like to introduce about the Unikorn program this year. Yeah, so introducing about our Unikorn program this year. ちょっと待ってください。So first of all, what is Unikorn program? Is in a very short way of saying is Link-J's accelerator program for life science startups. So this program is supported by Tokyo STEAM project by Tokyo Metropolitan Government. And then we support life science startups to enter the UK market as an entry point in collaboration with UK-based organizations. So what the contents of Unikorn program? So last year, actually, we had 2 separate courses. This year, we don't have those separate courses, only one course, which has 3 big pillars. One is mentoring and business development support. The second one is exhibition support. And the third one is promotion support. So first one, mentoring and business development support is the main and the core of this Unikorn program. So what we do is mentoring sessions, video sessions, and so on, and lectures, pitch advice as well, like quite lots of content in it. And then the second one, exhibition support. The main point of this support is we take those 4 Unikorn family that I'm going to introduce later. We are taking them to Bio Europe to showcase and have business meeting in there. And also we have promotion support, which is first of all Link-J membership support as well. But then mainly promotional opportunity on Link-J websites, SNS, and also joint events with Link-J members. So now let me introduce Unikorn program new family. There are 4 companies as you can see on the screen. So DiveRadGel and SyntheticGestalt, Surg storage, and B-Dot medical. And they are going to have the pitch session, so you can get to know what they are doing later. Also, let me introduce the Unikorn program mentors, both UK-based and in Japan-based mentors. So in pink background, they are the mentors in Japan. And in blue background, those 4 mentors are this year's mentor for Unikorn families. Everyone has very good connection in life science and also have knowledge and experience in like supporting startups. This one shows the overall program schedule from March to end of this year. So now we are in May, which is now having kickoff events. So after this, the UNIKORN family is going to have mentoring session, lectures, and the business advices, so on. And then to prepare for by Europe and business trip to the UK in November. And then after that, we are having planning to have some post event to showcase how they are doing after these programs. So now I'd like to introduce two mentors from UK.
Konnichiwa minasan. Hajimemashite. Samuel Conway tomashimasu. I'm an Australian entrepreneur who has built startups across Asia, Europe and the US. And now I live in Oxford, where I work closely with academic spin-outs and early stage founders. It's a real pleasure to welcome you to the UK as part of the Link-J and Unikorn program. Unikorn is designed for founders like you, ambitious, innovative and ready to explore global markets. What makes this program powerful is the depth of the mentor team. We're all operators, founders, builders and advisors who know what it takes to grow a company beyond borders. So, my advice, do your research, know your target market and prepare your story. And, most importantly, be brave. Don't be shy. Ask questions, engage with your mentors. We're here to help, to open doors, share hard-won lessons and walk the path with you. The UK is a fantastic launchpad into Europe and we're excited to be part of your journey. これからよろしくお願いします。頑張ってください。
Hello, my name is Tim Hart, and I'm delighted to be a mentor again on the Unikorn program. I've been supporting innovators and technology entrepreneurs for over 25 years, not just within the Oxford ecosystem, but all over the world. And Japan has always been a favorite of mine. The research is world leading, and our innovation ecosystems greatly complement each other. Our shared strengths in life sciences, particularly in cell therapy and regenerative medicine, create opportunities to deliver step changes in technology development to prepare your businesses for global market access. The UK continues to enjoy being the third largest venture capital sector in the world, with infrastructure and support in preclinical and clinical development that is unparalleled. The assets we enjoy here at Harwell campus, including the £3 billion of research infrastructure and a community of over 7,000 scientists, exemplify the strength of our resources. The secret to our ecosystem is our connectedness. Our relative size, autonomy, and maturity of our innovation ecosystem enables access to resources quickly and easily. We can't guarantee you will find what you need, but we can assure you of practical support and meaningful engagement with the public and private sector components of our ecosystem. And beyond our own borders, leveraging on our unprecedented research and trade relationships all over the world, we can connect you into overseas markets for trade, investment, and development partners. I'm looking forward to working with you in this year's Unikorn program.
Thank you. So before we go into pitch session, today we actually have invited two of our Unikorn family companies from last year, so to share their experience from the last year program. So first, please welcome Okita-san from Auxilart.
はい。 はい、よろしくお願いします。ちょっと確認したら、日本語でも大丈夫ということだったので、日本語でそのまま話してしまいます。はい、よろしくお願いします。大丈夫か。はい、そうですね、ユニコーン昨年参加させていただいたので、今年参加される皆さんに向けて、何かメッセージが送れればなというふうに思っております。で、最初、私たちの会社の紹介から始めさせていただきます。私たちですね、医薬品の製造プロセス開発のコストと時間を削減するためのソリューションを提供しているオキシルアートという会社になります。医薬品上市するときにですね、創薬と臨床試験が必要というところは比較的皆さんよくご存知なところかなというふうに思うんですけれども、実は臨床試験と並行して製造プロセスの開発ということで、いろいろな温度だったりとか攪拌速度だったりとか、いろいろなパラメーターをですね最適化させながらどうやったら早く安く大量に医薬品を作れるかという、製造のやり方を見つけるということがやらなければいけないこととしてあります。で、ここに製薬会社さんは、3000回ぐらい実験をして100億円から150億円ぐらいかけて、で、6年ぐらいかけるようなケースもあるということで、コスト時間が非常にかかっているというところを、僕たちは短縮したいというのがサービスです。で、私たち、この先ほど話した3000回の実験というものをデジタルのシミュレーションに置き換えることによって、大幅にコスト時間削減しようというのが私たちのサービスのコンセプトですね。で、私たちの技術はデジタルシミュレーションの技術になるんですが、東京大学の研究室で開発してきた技術を使わせていただいて、で、一緒に事業を推進しているというような形になります。私たちの技術、何かと言いますと、簡単に言うとメカニスティックモデル、物理モデルによるシミュレーションというものになります。で、一般的にはよく聞かれるのは AI とか機械学習使うっていうことはよく聞かれるサービスのやり方なんですけれども、それだとデータがたくさん必要だったりとか、中身が人間が説明しづらいブラックボックスのモデルになってしまっているので、使いづらいと。で、一方で物理モデルを使ったシミュレーションであれば、非常にデータが少なく済む。数回から10回ぐらいのデータセットさえあればシミュレーションを組めてしまえるということで、非常に利点が大きい。かつ中身はホワイトボックスのモデルなので、製造プロセスの最適化でデータを減らしたいとかっていう場合には、非常にメリットが大きいというところで私たちはこちらを使っています。で、今すでにお客様としてはこういったお客様が契約させていただいていまして、名前出せない会社さんも多いんですけれども、国内の製薬会社さんは結構他にもたくさん受注をさせていただいて、今プロジェクトを進めているというような形になります。で、チームはこのようなメンバーでやっていまして、メインのメンバーとしてはCEO と CEO である私で構成をしております。で、CEO とCEO 今日来ておりますが、はい、東京大学で特任研究をやっております。で、また技術顧問として東京大学の研究室の教授陣にも参加をいただいております。あとは、また後ほど触れますが、メンターとして実はユニコーンで、先ほど紹介があったメンターのサミュエルさんには、業務委託としてそのままプログラムの後も関わっていただいていて、非常にありがたい素晴らしいサポートをしていただいているなというふうに思っております。はい。で、ここからはメッセージというところで、ユニコーンに参加される方々、こういったところを気をつけると良さそうですよというところをお伝えできればなというふうに思います。非常に具体的な話になってしまいますが、はい。はい。で、やったことなんですけれども、私たち、皆さん多分一緒ですね。展示会参加するというところと、あとクライアントとアポイントに行くというところをやって、今、潜在的なクライアント、もしくは協業先とアポイントに行くというところをやっておりました。で、その中で感じたところ、大きく3つですね。はい。はい。で、3つあります。で、1つは、Don't meet for the first time in London って書いてありますが、ロンドンでいきなり会うというところは、非常に効率が悪いので、絶対やめた方がいいです。はい。で、会社紹介で、時間を使うというのは、非常に時間がもったいない使い方になってしまうので、事前に会って、オンラインで自己紹介とか、会社紹介を済ませておいて、それからロンドンで会うということになると、ロンドンの時間は、 最近どんなことやってるのっていう、その相手との関係性づくりの会話から始められて、で、実際じゃあ一緒にやっていくとしたらどうしたらいいかという話をできるので、非常に良い場になります。で、私たちもキャットサイさんっていうCDMO の会社様とメンターの方につないでいただいて、一緒にアポイントを取らせていただいたんですが、事前に会社紹介を終えて、実際にロンドン行った際に先方のオフィスにお伺いして話すという形になりましたが、非常に議論が盛り上がりまして、3時間もその場でアポイントをリアルで議論できまして、非常に良い進捗がありました。で、今も継続的にちょっと議論をして、サービス競合に向けて今議論しているというような形になります。なので、ぜひ事前に話すというところを意識していただければなというふうに思っております。はい。で、あとは、プログラム、don't just do the program, do more と書いてありますが、プログラム非常にたくさん、組んでいただいています。で、非常にありがたいんですけれども、それだけではなく、もちろん時間はたくさんありますし、ロンドンにはせっかく行きます。今、非常に円安で、非常にお金も高いですし、はい、時間もたくさん使っていると思うので、ぜひ有意義に使っていただければというふうに思っていますが、私の具体的なお勧めとしては、はい、ロンドン、いろいろな時間の使い方あると思うんですけれども、事前に可能性のありそうな方に連絡する以外にもですね、ロンドンではたくさんのスタートアップのイベントやっています。で、ここに書いてあるイベントのアプリを使うと非常にいろいろなイベントが出てきます。で、事前に登録をしておくと良さそうなイベントもありました。やっぱり良さそうなイベントは事前に登録していないと参加できなかったので、事前に見ていただけると非常に良いのかなというふうに思います。で、私も参加をしてですね、もう何も知らないスタートアップの経営者の方が40人ぐらいいるようなピッチイベントみたいなところに結構何回も行っていたんですけど、その中ででもやっぱり本当に偶然ですね、製薬会社の方、大手の製薬会社の方で、私たち顧客ターゲットとしたい方が本当にたまたまいて、で、その後のアポにもつながったので、それ結構運任せではあるんですけれども、英語の勉強にもなりますし、いろいろな方からフィードバック受ける機会にもなるので、ぜひお時間ありそうなタイミングがあれば参加されるのもすごい良いのかなというふうに思います。はい。で、最後、The real work begins after the program ということで、プログラム終わった、プログラムが本番ではなく、プログラム終わった後からが本番だというところで、プログラムの中でですね、会った方と、その後も継続的にコミュニケーションをしていけるように、熱をいかに継続させられるかが非常に重要かなというふうに思います。で、クライアントとか協業先見つけたら、必ずその後の次回のアポイントを必ず日時すぐに決定して、で、継続的に話していかないと、やっぱり結構海外の方とディスカッションするとなかなか前に進みづらい、やっぱり距離もありますし時差もありますし、やっぱり召集感も少し違うなっていうことを感じるケースが結構あって、やっぱりなかなか進みづらいケースがあるので、そこは実際にアポイントっていう形で会って話をしながら進めていくっていうのがいいのかなというふうに思います。なので、サービスプログラム終わった後も継続的にアポイントを実施できるようにしていくのが結構ポイントかなというふうに思いますね。はい。で、最後になりますが、それはクライアントとか協業先だけではなくて、メンターの方もそうだと思います。メンターの方、ユニコーンで、先ほど出ていらっしゃった、メンターの方以外にもたくさんの方このプログラムに参加されていらっしゃると思います。で、その中で会った方素晴らしい方多いので、本当にこの方と話して良さそうだと思ったらそのまま議論し続けて、で、私たちはそのまま業務委託で契約させていただいて、海外のビジネス展開を手伝っていただいていますし、はい、そういったケースも他にも聞いたりしますので、はい、ぜひそういったいいメンターを見つけていただくっていうのもすごい良いポイントなのかなというふうに思っております。はい、はい、以上になります。ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much for Okita-san. So next is from Mizuno-san in iXgene.
皆さんこんにちは。iXgene の水野です。はい、私も、このユニコーン、採択いただいて、行ってまいりました。その時の様子と、またメッセージといったところを準備してまいりました。まず最初に、会社の紹介からさせていただきます。で、こちら我々のミッションというところで、我々このゲノム編集で遺伝子を組み込んだ iPS 細胞、これを使って難治性の治療薬の難治性の疾患の治療薬の開発を目指しています。で、こちら我々のメンバーです。我々慶応大学発のスタートアップというところで、慶応の先生と一緒に開発をしながら進めています。現在、この4月から私代表取締役になりまして、2人代表といった形で CEO の古川と私でスピードアップ目指した経営を進めております。はい、でこちら我々のテクノロジーになります。iPS 細胞とゲノム編集、これを掛け合わせて iXgene という社名にしています。でこの iPS、何が我々の技術かというと、iPS 細胞から目的の細胞、今神経幹細胞を作っているんですけれども、これを大量に製造していけるノウハウ、さらに目的遺伝子を安定的に発現させるゲノムエディティングの方法、これをパテントとして押さえておりまして、このゲノム編集した iPS 細胞を使って治療法の開発を進めています。で、その最初のターゲットとしておりますのがグリオブラストーマになります。ご存知の方もいらっしゃるかと思いますが、非常に難治性の疾患でございまして、抗がん剤の開発がこれだけ進んでいる、この20年間で標準治療が一切変わっていない、全く治療法が進歩していないアンメットメディカルニーズの高い疾患です。で、この GBM、じゃあなんで治療が難しいかというところをここにまとめています。まず一つ、外科手術での切除が難しい。どうしても脳の奥に入っているので残ってしまう。じゃあ残ってしまうものを抗がん剤で叩こうとしても非常にヘテロジェネイティの高い疾患であり、かつグリオーマ幹細胞が抗がん剤に対して高い抵抗性を有しているので、なかなか叩ききれずにどうしても増えてしまう。じゃあどうすればいいかというところで、我々はこの残存している GBM、この場所で抗がん剤を大量に作り出す。そのことによって GBM とこのグリオーマステムセルをエリミネートできるんじゃないかというふうに考えました。で、作りましたのがこちらの我々のプロダクト iXg001 になります。左側ございますのが我々が導入している CD-UPRT 遺伝子、すなわち GBM を殺す遺伝子で、これを iPS 細胞に導入してニューラルステムセルに分解誘導します。そうするとニューラルステムセルは GBM から発生するケモカインを感知してそこに集まっていく。すなわちこの GBM を殺す遺伝子が GBM のところにある状況でプロドラッグを加えると、プロドラッグをこの遺伝子がどんどん抗がん剤 5FU に変換して腫瘍を殺すことができるだろう。これが我々の治療コンセプトになります。で、この導入している CD-UPRT 遺伝子何かと、ちょっとコンフュージングなスライドなんですけれども、通常こういった遺伝子治療で使われるのが一番左のシトシンデアミナーゼ遺伝子、すなわち 5FC を 5FU に変換して DNA 合成阻害をする遺伝子なんですけれども、このグリオーマ幹細胞をはじめとするグリオーマ、非常に増殖濃度が増殖性が低いものもあって DNA 合成阻害だけだと十分に殺せない。そこで我々はここに UPRT 遺伝子導入することで RNA 合成阻害も引き起こす。そのことによって右がインビトロのデータなんですけれども、CD 遺伝子だけを導入した NSC と GSC を培養したもの。一方で我々の細胞と GSC を培養したもので投与する 5FC の濃度を振っていくと100倍の治療効果を示すというところで GSC をターゲットにする細胞ができました。で、これをマウスの脳内に植えますと、このようにいくつかのマウスでは全ての腫瘍を殺しきることができて、生存曲線見ていきますと、このようにだいたい100日ぐらいで全ての腫瘍が死んでしまう、全てのマウスが死んでしまうモデルなんですけれども、我々の治療を行うことで200日300日大幅にマウスの生存期間を延長。さらにこの試験ですと9匹中3匹 33% のマウスは腫瘍が 全てなくなって生存しきると、いわゆるコンプリートレスポンスが得られまして、我々はこの治療法の開発を現在臨床に向けて進めているという段階です。で、もう一つこちらが、郵送性ですね。我々のこのニューラルステムセルが腫瘍に集まっていくというところを示しているんですけれども、マウスの左脳にこの細胞を植えて、右脳にグリオーマ幹細胞を植えますと、脳量を超えて反対側までいくというところで、この GS に対する高い郵送性を確認しています。で、簡単に競合分析といったこともやってまして、先ほど申し上げた通り、この導入する遺伝子の高腫瘍活性と NSC の郵送性、この2つで、各いろんなこの GBM の開発プロダクトに対して優位性を示していけるんじゃないかなというふうに思っています。というところは、はい、我々のプロダクトのご説明で、じゃあこの UK で何をしていこうかといったところをこれはビジネスモデルで置いといて、まとめています。で、現在プレクリニカルの段階で、慶応の CPC で、GLP 試験薬を作っていて、これから治験を始める。で、まず最初の治験は日本で行う予定なんですけれども、じゃあこの治験薬を作っていくのをどうするか、さらにここからグローバルのクリニカルトライアルをどういうふうにやっていくか、例えば UK にあるカタパルト、セル&ジンカタパルトと製造の提携をしたりとか、CDMO と提携してグローバルの開発をしたりとか、また大手の製薬企業と組んでグローバルの開発の道筋をつけるとか、UK のベンチャーキャピタルと組んでシリーズ B 以降の資金を調達するとか、そういったことを今回のプログラムでできるんじゃないかと、これ実は申請した時の資料なんですけれども、スライドなんですけれども、ということで採択いただいてこういうことにチャレンジしてきたというところです。で、ここからは結果なんですけれども、メンターのティムさんについていただいて、非常に深い洞察といろんな我々の可能性を広げてくれたかなというふうに思ってます。で、これ書いておりますのがレギュレーションですね。いわゆる MHRA と話して、この我々の製品がどういうふうにマッチしていくか、またグラントのサポートをしてくれるようなところ、さらに CRO とか CDMO、各社ご紹介いただいて面談を繰り返して、またスティーブ・ニッチのインキュベーターに訪問したりとか、また VC にもオプトパスベンチャーといったところをご紹介いただいて、非常にいろんな観点から我々の事業開発ができるようなことをサポートしてもらったというところであります。で、じゃあ実際それでどうだったかというところなんですけれども、まず結果、我々先ほど申し上げたとおり UK でビジネスをしていく、拠点を作っていくための可能性を検討してきました。で、その中でやはりこの研究、製造、開発といったところの拠点と十分なり得る場所だなというところを感じることができて、じゃあ何をやっていくのかというところまで整理はできたところです。ただ、やはり我々まだアーリーのプレクリニカルの会社であったからなのか、なかなか製薬企業のコラボレーションといったところまではご紹介いただいて進めることはできなかったし、ベンチャーからのファンディングというところもなかなか現実に持っていくところは難しかったなというふうに感じています。で、インプレッション、印象としては UK 非常に日本の会社が参入してくることに対してすごくフレンドリーな印象を受けています。で、やはり感触として先ほどおっしゃっていただいたような US マーケットへのステップポイント、そことしての可能性もまた非常に高いものかと思います。ただ実際に我々がここでビジネスやろうとしたときに、やはり時差もある、距離的にも大きく離れているところで、じゃあ誰にここをお願いするのか、それを見つけていくプロセス、それが非常に重要になってくるなというところを感じています。で、もう一個、ファンドレイジングですね。やっぱり UK、日本で資金調達厳しくて UK ならできるんじゃないかと思って行ったんですけど、やはりセルセラピー、昨今厳しいこともあるんですが、なかなかやはりそんな甘い話はなくて、やはり一個一個きっちり自分のビジネス伝えて、資金調達をやっていかなきゃいけないなというところは感じたところです。で、最後に簡単にメッセージなんですけれども、今回短い時間の滞在期間なんで、やはり全ての事業開発やりきるっていうのは非常に難しいなと感じました。沖田さんお話しされたように、事前にポイント、話をしてから決めに行くっていうのも非常に重要だと思いますし、 また、私は可能性を探るために行ったんですけれども、やっぱり何をしに行くかっていうのを事前のメンタリングでどこに絞るかっていったところのこのメンタリングの期間がやはり重要かなと思っています。で、一番最後に、もう一つ大事だと思うのが、2回目ですね。今回行って2回目にしっかりビジネスを作り上げられるような2回目の訪問を前提とした進め方、結局沖田さんと言ってることと一緒なんですけど、そういったところが大事なのかなと思ってます。でもう一つ私から一番大事だと思うことを伝えたいのがやはりこれですね。週末挟んでいきますので、このサンデーロースト、日曜日しか食べられない非常に美味しいものだと、イギリスにも美味しいものがあるんだなということを教えてくれましたので、これは必ずパブで召し上がっていただきたいなと思います。はい、以上になります。非常に、これまた自宅の写真なんですけれども、おかげさまで紅茶を飲む習慣ができまして、はい、この関係者の皆様に感謝しております。以上です。
Thank you very much for the talk, and thank you very much for the sharing experiences and nice comments, advices on this program. So now finally I would like to introduce our UNIKORN 2.0 family this year. The first speaker is from B.Medical. Medical.
Hello. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much for Link-J to picking up B.Medical as a UNIKORN 2.0. I'm Shunsuke from B.Medical. Let me start my presentation with asking a simple question. What do you imagine of cancer treatment? Well, I know you're a professional, but in general, yeah? Most of us might think that cancer treatment is hard to cure and painful, and also life disrupted by the treatment. We want to change this. We want to offer you the cancer treatment with effective cure and no pain, and also you can treat while living your normal life. That's why we focus on proton therapy. Proton therapy is a part of radiation therapy. Most of you know the X-ray, but much better than X-ray. So it has a unique character that it can focus on the damage, maximizing damage for the cancer tissue and not damaging the normal tissue. So only for the proton therapy, there's no surgery required, no hospitalization. So it's a gentle treatment for your body and your daily life. But it's not widespread yet. Why? Because there's only 120 proton therapy facilities in the world, and maybe 3 in UK, but there are none in Tokyo where we live. Why is it happening like this? Because the conventional system having the 12 meters height of the machine itself. So that gives the high initial cost and also complex and difficult to use. And that brings the low operational efficiency. So we want to change this. And this is still our most expensive medical device in the world at the moment. So as a B.Medical, we are startup originated from Japanese National Institute of Radiological Science, and our CEO, Takuji Furukawa, and also other 7 researchers founded this company. And also we have expertise from key hospitals, including Dr. Tsuji and Dr. Sakurai. So we have approached proton therapy from practical perspective. So we actually try to make the proton therapy patient-friendly, but also hospital-friendly. So we make the proton therapy ultra-compact with this magnetic gantry. So it's 1/3 of the height compared to the conventional one. So that decreases the initial cost. But at the same time, not only making it smaller, but keep the high efficiency, high performance using the NIIS developed scanning system. And at the end, but not the least, we actually redesigned the treatment flow itself. So we actually redesigned the layout and then built automated treatment table as well to increase the treatment efficiency maximum 2 times compared to the conventional one. So that brings the very benefit for the hospital, but also we can bring the proton therapy to as many as patients as possible. So here's our current stage. We got our Japanese PMDA approval, and we started FDA pre-submission. And luckily, we got a first order from Edoga Hospital, which will be the first proton therapy in Tokyo. We'll be operating probably 2027. But this is not just started, and this is not yet enough to spread in the proton therapy in the world. So that's why we are hoping that with UNIKORN, we can meet more global investors or build business partners and build a strong team to approach in globally. So from the UK to the world, we can bring the proton therapy is for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Furukawa-san. So next is Kurosawa-san from DiveRadGel company.
Right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Takero Kurosawa, and I'm from the DiveRadGel. We are the Japanese startup developing the cancer vaccine. And I am in charge of the COO and co-founder, and also the head of global billionaire as well. I summarize in one slide for our business and what we have achievement. We established this company in the last year with CEO Takashi Nakai in there, and who invent this nano-size drug delivery system and can apply for the cancer vaccine. We have this nanoparticle, nano-size drug delivery system, and this has a targeting ability for the conventional DC1, which is the best, most important APC antigen-presenting cells for the anti-tumor efficacy. So we apply this for the cancer vaccine and have a robust and strong T-cell inducible cancer vaccine. We have 3 different pipelines here, DLZ1 to 3. DLZ1 is a vaccine and TCR-T combo therapy. DLZ2 is a combo therapy with ICI or radiotherapy. And lastly, we like to develop the cancer vaccine monotherapy for therapeutics or preventive for the novel drug development. But everything is based on the cancer vaccine technology. Why we progress and why we establish our company is because of our strong and robust preclinical highlight here. As I mentioned, this DDS technology has a DC targeting ability for the lymph nodes. And also we already manufacture the GMP level on DDS technology. And for the monotherapy, if you apply this DDS for the cancer vaccine, we compare it to the mRNA LNP vaccine to this DLZ vaccine. We have more stronger, greater anti-tumor efficacy compared to that current mRNA model. And lastly, we combined with TCR-T therapy and our cancer vaccine therapy, which is our cancer vaccine, induce our T-cell response and can induce infused T cells. Then we complete regression in cold tumor models, and also we have prevent relapse for the more than 18 months. So we have such preclinical data, and we have enthusiasm for the global expansion, but we don't have resource and experience for the business development, also the clinical development. That's why we apply this UNIKORN program, and we hope we can work together and have a very good work highlight through this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kurosawa-san. Next is Hirao-san from Surg Storage. Please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akihiro from Surg Storage, who is the CEO and founder of the Surg Storage. So my presentation is so simple, so please reach to me if you have any question or interest in our presentation. And so first of all, and also we really would like to appreciate for selecting as a member of the UNIKORN family to Link-J and Aspire and every mentors and future partners in this program. And let me introduce our company briefly. We are the database company that collect a lot of medical video and image data such as laparoscopic video, image, endoscopic image, CT, MRI data with clinical text information. Our mission is to standardize the healthcare data and also integrate or multimodal data for the data source for the development of every AI. If you have any experience to develop the every AI, data is essential. So, but the data is, not generalized. So we need to try to standardize all data for the AI development. Why we can do this? We are the spin-out venture from the National Cancer Center. So this position enable us to collect a lot of data from more than 100 hospitals in Japan. We already get approval of the ethical committee, including 51 university hospitals. So if you have any relatives, I really appreciate for cooperating with us. The challenges in the AI development is almost all the data is fragmented across the institutions and systems, and also lack of common standards. So actually, I will participate in ISO International Standard Committee tomorrow. Since tomorrow, I will go to visit London actually for participating in the standardizing conference. So yeah, we really truly try to standardize the data for the AI development. This is a simple solution for our business model. So we already collaborate with the over 130 hospitals based on the National Cancer Center, and also we keep collecting several types of data, such as the medical image, clinical text, or clinical video data for the customers of developing the AI solutions. And also, as I mentioned, we also try to standardize those data set as ISO tier standardized. We also try to expand our business into several countries shown in this slide. We already collaborated with one British startup company, and we already delivered our data into this. So through this UNIKORN program, we would like to increase the number of customers, and also we try to expand not only UK but also other countries in UK, Europe, EU. So yeah, through this program, again, I would like to connect a lot of people, relatives, and stakeholders with support from the Link-J and by Aspire and all the future collaborators. So that's all my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Lastly, Morohashi-san from SyntheticGestalt. please.
Good afternoon, and I'd like to thank delegates from Link-J and the mentors and the supporters, including Matsunaga-san. Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Daisuke Morohashi. I'm from a company called SyntheticGestalt. We actually do AI for drug discovery, and I'd like to talk a little bit about how our technology can reduce cost and time in drug discovery field. By the way, I'm the last person, so it's good news for you. Excuse me. So everyone is pretty aware that developing a drug is a very costly and time-consuming process. But what's less known is that the early stage actually takes 40% of the cost, which is pretty much very significant compared to if you think about, a lot of times a clinical trial that takes a lot of time and effort, but it's actually early stage that takes over 40% of the cost. When AI first came in a couple of years back, and the hope was that AI could, somehow reduce this overhead cost. But the reality is that it hasn't quite much done so yet. There's two reasons why. The one is a lack of quality data sets. And secondly, it's a lack of people with the right expertise. So we are tackling these two challenges. So our solution for this is AI, molecular foundation model. So I think everyone's using ChatGPT. It's actually a language foundation model. We are developing molecular foundation model to tackle this problem. With this, the clients can have very small data sets, and while they're using the very little data set, they can maintain a precision. And this is a very, we believe it is going to break through because it saves a lot of money while they're maintaining the accuracy of the AI model that they produce. We've done some real life applications. With NMN, we've reduced time and the cost by a significant amount with a money of 90% cut and 75% in the time for development. Because we work with compound-based models, we can work in a number of different ways with the clients. So if the client's interested in buying compounds, so lead compounds, they can do so by simply purchasing IP. If they're interested in AI models itself for continuing use, that is also possible through IP transfer and also through licensing with a smaller fee. Additionally, they are able to directly use foundation model through enterprise subscription. And I'm very thrilled to work with you and work with mentors and the potential clients in the UK and also Europe and beyond. Very looking forward to work with them. And thank you very much for the time.
Thank you, Morohashi-san. And again, thank you very much for all the Unikorn family. We are really looking forward to working with you. So next session is a panel discussion with Matsunaga-san from Biospire as a moderator, and Mr. Yura, Rodney Kelly, and me.
Hello, and welcome to the session. This will be fun part, 44 minutes, 56 seconds, so I should be punctual because I saw outside the beer is ready and the lady was polishing the glass, so you have to be on time. Right, so beforehand, shall we do quick introduction? So my name is Masashi. I'm a CEO of Biospire Japan and the UK. So we do the conductor in the UK part. So my part is to assign the best mentor for the best mentee. So this is my role. And you saw Tim Hart. He's my friend. And he used to be my mentor for my PhD. I got my PhD in microbiology for 25 plus years ago. And he was, Tim was the mentor plus in a postdoc. And he did, well, he influenced me a lot. After finishing my PhD, I joined the Hitachi. It's a classic Japanese corporate. But Tim did a 3 spin-out, 1 successful, maybe 2 failure. And for my impression, UK is 10 plus years advanced in ecosystem to encourage startups. So that's why I learned a lot. And from 2015, I was invited to one of the Cambridge UK startup called DefinGen, doing a stem cell business. And I did the operation, everything. And this also influenced me a lot. And then I converted to Oxford, doing innovation consultant in a company or consultant called Auxilart, which is under umbrella of Oxford University. And now, after having a residential permit, I quit and now become independent, doing Biospire. I was conducting a lot of projects with Link-J. And this is me, and I'm happy to be the mentor moderator for this session. Thank you very much. And maybe Yura-san.
So another introduction from myself. I'm Takeshi Yura, and I work at the British Embassy here in Tokyo in the Department for Business and Trade. And my main function is to promote both trade and investment between the UK and Japan on both sides. So that would mean supporting UK companies to expand here in Japan, but also supporting Japanese companies to expand in the UK. Coming to my background, I was originally trained in organic chemistry. I worked for a very long time in R&D, mainly the research part, drug discovery part in companies such as Pfizer and Bayer here in Japan. And then 10 years before joining the embassy here in Tokyo, I worked for CROs, contract research organizations in Singapore and in India. My experience there was that we did have the chance to work with biotechs, some of them Japanese, some US companies which are the so-called virtual biotechs, which means that all the lab work was being done at our organization in India or in Singapore. And yeah, so I have seen that process of how it works. One of our clients was fortunate enough in being acquired by a US company at the end. I've seen that process of actually developing a small molecule and then bringing it to a final conclusion. So in that respect, I'm very much interested in the work, personally, technically, in the technical aspects as well. And I think we're having further discussions, but the UK government is very keen on having a thriving biotech ecosystem, so to speak, in the UK. And we recognize that this cannot be done alone, by the UK alone, and is very open for Japanese entities as well to come over and further expand their business in the UK. The UK government is quite diverse and open. The Prime Minister himself has said that the UK is open for business, and there's a large amount of diversity. So once you come to the UK and become established there, you will be a UK company. So all the support, all these things will happen to you as well. It will be perfectly on an equal basis with other UK companies. In other sectors, for example, take the automobile industry, companies like Toyota, Nissan are considered as UK companies. They will get all the support. The local politicians will fight for these companies, and it's really that kind of environment that you will have in the UK. So, yeah.
Cool, thank you very much. So next is Rodney, British citizen working in Japan.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Rodney Kelly. I'm the Chief Growth Officer at a company here in Japan called Heka Bio. Prior to that, I was, as Matsunaga-san mentioned, a British citizen, still am, unless they've stolen my passport and it's now yours. And I worked at the Health Innovation Network. The Health Innovation Network was formerly called the Academic Health Science Network, but think of it as the equivalent of kind of Kosei Rodosho meets Mediso meets government agency that's looking for innovation to come into the UK. And that's where I met Matsunaga-san in Cambridge. And we were scouting the world looking for the best innovation, like the innovation we see in front of us. And congratulations to all of you for coming onto the program. Looking forward to working with you and helping you make those connections in the UK. But yeah, the UK, as Yura-san says, is very much open for Japanese innovation. In fact, we've been complaining about the amount of wonderful Japanese innovation there is versus the amount of Japanese innovation that come to us in the UK. Every trade show that I go to in London, Manchester, Birmingham, there's people from all over the world there. Some of their innovations are maybe not so ready for globalization. Meanwhile, in Japan, you've got some of the best innovation, but it's not globalizing. So programs like this are really important to get your wonderful innovation out. So over the years, I have seen many pitches and many interactions between clinical entrepreneurs like yourselves and VCs and academia. And my role in this whole program is to help you find the best way to communicate your message, whether it's to a VC, whether it's to an academic partner, whether it's an institution. It's a difficult task. It requires having lots of different pitch decks that you store in the right places. But the Link-J team have been excellent in creating this type of program so that you can have those pitch decks ready at hand to use in the right circumstances. And the circumstances are right. I think Yura-san was saying, he gently alluded to the tumultuous global environment that we're experiencing right now with tariffs and so on. To tread gently while I say this, it is a great opportunity for the UK because we're seeing now people coming to us saying, can we go to the UK? And can we, importantly, and I just learned a Japanese word, stepping stone, you say step pointo. Is that right? Yeah. Step point. Yeah. So I think that's a great opportunity to come and get some clinical evidence, some real world evidence, and use that to springboard to the US markets, or I will add other markets, particularly in Asia, that are growing very quickly. A UK stamp of approval can be a very good ticket to talking to VCs globally. So yeah, very happy to be part of this program. Massive congratulations to you all for being part of it. Your pitches were excellent so far. So I think you're going to have a good time in November. So thank you.
Thank you, Rodney. So I met Rodney in Milton Keynes like 3 years ago. And we agreed that we can do many things, but this is technically first time doing the project. So it's great time for me as well. Yeah, lastly, the Yasuka-san, the Link-J, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, hi again, I'm Hiroko from Link-J. I actually studied immunology, specifically autoimmune disease in the UK and Singapore. And then after that, I worked for 2 pharmaceutical. I'm here, like I joined Link-J last year. So I'm still learning many things about like supporting startups and so on. So like, yeah, I'm really excited to support you all and then grow together. That's all.
Cool, thank you. So before we start the fun talk, can I ask audiences, who runs startup? You guys. You, right, about half. Who's coming from large corporate? If you don't mind. Thank you very much. Who's coming from government? No. Who's coming from VCs? Oh, thank you. We can talk later. Thank you very much. I got, yes, maybe first topic is to Rodney's, because yes, you got many opportunities to speak up. So Rodney is famous for improving pitches, especially for Japanese. And you supported since the last Unicorn program. Yes. So you know what is bad for the typical Japanese startup pitches and what is difference for the pitch and the presentation wise. And I saw their pitch quite good. Yeah. And I've been seeing for similar things for the last 5 years, and the pitch qualities are definitely improving. And can I ask your message? What is still required to improve, and what is good for Japanese the pitch, and what is your global standard, etc. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There's a lot to unpack, but I think the first thing I would say is, and I always think about my American colleagues. My American friends are very, very confident when they present. Now, that's impossible to invent a new character for yourself, but there are some techniques and some technical tricks you can use. And I noticed in today's pitch, no one was using, and I don't like PowerPoint very much, but no one was using animation in their slides. Now, I don't mean an explainer video. I mean simply animating bits of text. And that's something I've noticed in Japan. Very often, well, let me ask you a question. If you're reading a book, would you also want to listen to a talking podcast? The answer is no, because we don't read and listen at the same time. And if you really want your message to come across, don't ask your audience to be reading and listening at the same time. Now, you guys are essentially selling clinical, complicated, technical things. So it's not possible to use the TED Talk style rule of 6 words maximum per slide. It's not going to work when you're trying to explain, talk about gene therapy or something. However, I would encourage you to try to reduce substantially the amount of text you use on your slide and employ the function of automating the words. I was actually watching while you were presenting and people were looking around, which part do I read first? Do I listen to him? Do I read? What do I do? Please think about that, particularly in a bigger audience that's a mixed audience. Some investors, now there's some VCs here, there's some corporate people. Try to think about the parts you really, really want to emphasize and have them on one slide with one person was doing it very well today, yes. That's number one. The second one is it's really important to try to avoid starting with your technical solution. Now, start with and I think you all did this, the problem that you're solving. But with the problem that you're solving, I wouldn't have any slides at all. Just talk that part through. And that would be my first 2 points from technical presentation point of view, if that's what your question was getting at.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So are you improving their pitches under this program?
Yes, absolutely. And I'll help you as much as I can because I've seen it's about what people can digest when you're giving it to them. So yes, I'll be here to help with that.
Thank you. Please do use Rodney. It's good. Right, thank you. So next question maybe to Yura-san. So I heard British government, they are quite supportive and looking for innovation from other world, including Japan. What is the current biggest issue you are suffering from? Because I heard many good things in your presentation, but in reality, what is your, yes?
I mean, yes, in the presentation, which by the way was a bit crowded, there were reasons why I had to do that, because part of it is that I need approvals for what material to show, and I had to use the standard slides. But anyway, and yes, I do admit that in the presentation I painted a rather optimistic, rosy picture of things. The reality, though, is that, of course, there are issues. I mean, part of it would be or a large part of it is actually budget constraints, which I think you will see in the media. For example, the NHS, for example. It is a very good organization, but you have seen in the news that the current government has said in a statement that the NHS is broken and needs to be fixed. And you've probably seen in the media about for example, the strikes of doctors for asking for more pay. It is indeed a stretched organization, and there will be reforms made. Already it has become converted back into a government organization. I think this was announced a few months ago. So there is a major restructuring happening at the NHS at the moment. And also for other research funds, for example, the reality is that the government is, again, stretched in terms of budget. So there is a limit to what can be done in terms of funding. The basic principles of what I showed will continue, of course. The government recognizes that the life science sector is going to be a key pillar of the economy. The industry strategy will be announced in next month, I believe, which will basically set the guidelines of industrial strategy in the UK in the coming years. And that document, I haven't really seen the draft yet, but I do know that the life sciences will be one of the key sectors mentioned in that strategy plan. So overall support will continue, and also the recognition that this is crucial for the UK government, that we have in the UK a thriving life science sector. And hopefully there will be measures to increase or at least maintain the current level of support which we do have in the UK. There may be several changes in which parts will be supported. One recognition, I think, within the government is that the driving force for actually finding drugs, the drug discovery piece, has moved away from the traditional pharmaceutical companies doing the research in-house to the more open innovation model where the work is driven by the so-called startups or biotechs. I think this is true. It certainly is true in the UK and US, and probably also true in Japan as well. So that means that growing support for the biotechs or startups, scale-ups, whatever you call them, will become even more important in supporting a large and a thriving life science sector. So there may be more emphasis towards those areas, specifically supporting biotechs, which is what we are discussing today, and also encouraging VC or CVC investment into the biopharmaceutical sector in the UK. And then perhaps this is my own personal view, less support on the traditional support which was given to, let's say, the large pharmaceutical companies in terms of manufacturing or drug discovery. So there may be changes, but what was the question? Okay, right. So, okay, the question is that, yes, the UK, there are challenges, and I think you may face those challenges when you actually apply for these grants. But the basic position of support will remain unchanged, and hopefully will be better suited to the changes which are happening in the pharmaceutical industry.
Excellent, thank you very much. Because NHS is quite famous, but for example, like if my daughter want to go to like ENT, the nose, she has to wait for 3 months, and if I go cough, fever, and call doctor, have to wait for 6 months, I may die. So maybe the innovation from Japan, etc., will be needed, and the NHS got different budget for the.
Yeah. If I can add to that, so the point that Matsunaga-san has made is actually increases the need for innovation and technology investment into the UK, and the UK government is looking overseas, especially in Japan. To Japan, and I say especially because it's true, especially the major sources of investment will be the US, Europe, and Japan. And so there are expectations for Japan, how the Japanese companies can contribute in terms of investment in the NHS to fix things happening there. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Yura-san. Next question is for Yasuga-san, for the conductor of the Link-J, Unikorn program. And personally, I like Unikorn program because it's long term, and having a mentor, it's more like a deep support compared to other program, short period of programs. Because the CEO, directors in a startup company quite busy, so spending a week in Europe, UK is quite challenging. And my question is, how would you create like a unique sales point to provide such program, etc.? That's my question.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, the first I answer briefly. The question is the main point is, as earlier I showed, mentoring and not only mentoring, go deep into like business development support. So you said 1 year, like long term. Probably for life science, 1 year is quite short time, but then we want to maximize this short or long time as much as possible. So that's why we created this program and this content. So probably, I mean, like it's how you use that, utilize these like every single things. But then I think if you use it a lot and it's quite, how do you say it? I suddenly forgot English. But really packed, probably busy as much as you do now. But then, yeah, like this is unique. It's not just like one-time mentoring only. Like we support you to like really improve overall your business and so on. So yeah, that's our main point. So, yeah,
Cool,
I'm too
thank you.
nervous.
Yes,
Can I add?
yes, of course.
That's a really good point. Actually, the UK has, because it's had the NHS for 75 years, there has developed a ecosystem of government institutions which have been running for decades and are there to help. So I think obviously this program will be able to signpost you to those institutions, but I think the UK more than any other country has those long-lived institutions that can help you through each of the chasms as you go towards commercialization. So please ask us about those. Let us know what stage you're at, and we can try to find the right people to speak to, because there is government support. Obviously, as Yuro-san was saying, it helps if you've got a UK entity, but there is support available prior to that, because they want to show you that this is a country that is open for business, and should you make the decision to set up a UK entity, then they're there to help you beyond that as well. So just wanted to add to that. Thank you.
Thank you for your supportive comment. You can be mentor, moderator. Yes, yeah, so the Rodney plus mentor plus government are quite supportive for the program. And what I like for the Unicorn program is that Link-J team will act as your marketing rep on this program, and you will be very much exposed to the public. So not only just doing your publication in LinkedIn or website, etc., but use the Link-J channels. You'll be more famous and busier. And yes, to maximize your days in the UK in November will be very important. So maybe you can utilize your mentors. We will introduce the mentor soon after this meeting. Right, thank you very much. Next topic, which I thought is, right, back to Yasuga-san. Yes, sorry. I think the life science ecosystem is quite important. Link-J connect to, I'm advertising Link-J. Link-J connect to many clusters in the world. For example, in UK, they bridge with MedCity in London, or One Nucleus in Cambridge, and some clusters in Oxford as well. And I think this kind of like a surface-to-surface connection is quite important, because if single company want to connect to single appointment, this is quite tough. So maybe having like a surface-to-surface connection is quite important. And maybe Rodney can jump in, but how do you support for that kind of like a multiple connections?
Oh, okay, thank you. So basically, Link-J have like really wide range of connection from academia to industry, VCs, and many other like public sectors, like government bodies and so on. And then not only within Japan, like as he mentioned, of course, like lots of organizations in the UK, but also we have connection in the US as well. I mean, in the point of like Unicorn, of course, like we have very strong connection to the UK. So that's the very strong point of Link-J. And not having the connection, we also organize events and seminars to actually let them link on site, or like, I mean, online is a bit difficult to link. So So not only having the network, we actually invite you all to like get into actual connection, actual discussion, and so on. So that's another strength of Link-J, I think.
Cool. Rodney, can you?
Yeah, and on top of the kind of business-to-business type connections, we can also offer information about what we call in the UK system pull, which means what the NHS is looking for and what the NHS is looking for in specific areas. Now, the UK is very small. It's smaller than Japan, but compared to the US, it's often seen as one entity. But actually in the UK, we have the NHS is divided into different ICSs, and each of those ICSs will have a different need and a different thing they're looking for, to simplify. So for example, East of England has a very aging population, so they're often looking for CNS or neurology or oncology solutions. And it will have its own network of centers and research institutions that you can do this in. Meanwhile, in the West Midlands or the Northeast, the hospitals and the ICSs are looking for different things, and there's specializations within the country. And that's expertise that we bring into this program, so that when you're looking at with whom to partner and why to partner with them, we can offer what that reception might be and where the best place to look would be.
Cool, thank you. Maybe it's a connecting to question to Yura-san for the public sectors. If we, like a private sectors, encourage this type of program to bridge Japanese startups to the UK ecosystems, how would you support as like a public sector? Maybe budgeted maybe best, but
budget-wise, yes, perhaps to a certain extent. But I think the way the government could support is actually joining up the companies up to specific funds granting which is available. I mean, the DBT or the UK government, obviously we have links to the URKI, for example, Innovate UK, these organizations. So we can, together with partners such as Link-J, work on with these government institutes to make sure that the companies which come to the UK do have access, the links and support from these government organizations. So my role here in Japan would be to connect you to those organizations in the UK and also provide support when that is possible.
Cool, thank you. And I'm sorry for asking tough questions. This is what I like panel discussion, to be able to squeeze like a real comment. Thank you very much. And for the public grant, I explained in the morning sessions, there are some UK-Japan grants. So maybe Japanese startups plus UK equivalent conductors can co-apply to single patent, which is held by, for example, like a NEDO from Japanese side and Eureka, another public side, fund side from the UK side. Are they increasing the Japan-UK co-grant?
Yeah, yes, I think they will. I mean, NEDO signed a memorandum of understanding, I think it was last year, with the Japanese government. There's overall, the overarching scheme is to promote collaboration in science R&D between UK and Japan. So the big framework is all these things which were discussed at the G7 summit, and then this sort of trickles down in a way to, for example, memorandums of understanding between UK government agencies and Japanese agencies as well. For example, there's one example I can give which happened 2 weeks ago. There was a memorandum of understanding between the Cell and Gene Therapy Catapult in the UK and the Nakanoshima Cross, which is an institute which was started last year in Osaka, mainly on cell and gene therapy. So these things are happening. And with these join-ups, collaborations, there will be opportunities for probably joint funding, getting support from both organizations, both in the UK. And for those programs, it will be most likely that you don't have to have a UK entity, but you could actually access that support here in Japan.
This is quite plus. Thank you very much. Because maybe from the British government point of view, having a UK entity is a kind of a benefit for and the plus for Yura-san's job, but quite tough for the startups to have another location. But if you are eligible using that kind of a scheme, maybe you can utilize before considering entering to the UK. Thank you very much. That's quite useful. Any addition?
No, I just wanted to make a really general point before we moved on from the point you were saying before, Yura-san, about the SEIS and the EIS. For the VCs in the room, it's a really attractive opportunity. I believe, if I'm wrong here, correct me, but one is redeemed 75% of your investment is safeguarded if you invest in life sciences companies. Now that's for UK VCs, but from a startup point of view, that's a really attractive opportunity when you're pitching to those people who are having 75% of their investment de-risked. And it's just another example of the UK government's efforts in trying to promote and entice people into the sector. Yeah.
I think this is quite a unique scheme for the SCIS. This is more like a smaller startup and a few hundred K, the cap.
The threshold is?
EIS, a couple of millions, my understanding.
I think it goes from 200K to $1 million.
Okay.
Something like that, yeah, I'd have to check.
Sure, thank you. I think this is a unique scheme that having in the UK, but not Japan. So this will be my next question. What has not Japan?
I'd definitely like to jump in that.
Please.
We talked about the globalization journey, and one of you had a great slide where we were looking at your phases. And you were saying phase one here, and then it was a globalized process. The UK is such a good stepping stone to take your innovations into and out of, particularly when it comes to what we call in the UK PPIE, patient and public involvement and engagement. It's something the NHS told me and my team to look for when we were screening and vetting innovations coming in. And patient and public involvement and engagement is looking at your solution and looking at how not just regulatory approval success, not just clinical readiness, technical readiness, it looks at will the patients, who are the ultimate customers, if you like, accept this? Now, the UK is, and I know many of my Japanese friends, when they go to London, they're like, wow, this is not what I expected. This is a very international and multicultural city and country. PPIE in the UK enables you to be able to do engagement with people from all ethnicities, which means when you further globalize your solution, you can say, it's not just East Asian population, it's not just a Caucasian population, it's Afro-Caribbean, so on and so forth. And that really helps your investment opportunity. So PPIE is a big one.
Thank you for the diversity, globalization is a key word. Any addition, Yura-san or Yasuda-san?
Yes, I think Rodney made a very good point. One thing just to add as an example would be, for example, Cancer Research UK, which is basically a charity. And I don't think there's a corresponding sort of counterpart organization here in Japan. But it's also probably the largest source of funding for cancer research in the UK. So there are these charity organizations. There's one in Cancer Research UK is probably the most famous one, but for all other diseases as well. And they do play an active role in supporting research and development, which translates, for example, in ease of doing clinical trials in the UK compared to Japan, but for certain diseases. So, yeah.
Cool, thank you. My next question, maybe the final two questions, will be how would Japanese startup get trust from the UK partner, including a VC? Maybe tough question, probably.
Just go. Get there. Honestly, I'm at so many of these events in London, and I'm thinking, where are the Japanese companies? And I'm always saying how good the Japanese innovations are. And all of the British people and VCs are going, great, where are they? So well done, you're going, that's number one. Engage with them, drink with them. Who said someone had Sunday roast? Yeah. Not just that, get the beers out, really, you know, go into a different mode. There's a lot of really good VC events in London that someone put Eventbrite? It's actually really good for this. There's all these little meetups. Let these chance opportunities, you know, become your advantage. I speak to a lot, when I speak to founders from the States and Europe, they always tell me stories such as, oh, and then I met this guy in a bar, or this guy on a train, and he told me about this guy who's a VC. And these type of things don't happen as much in Japan because you tend to stay in your kind of organized areas, right? But really just, you know, get out there and meet people. I know that's a very kind of trite message, but really while you're there, really check Eventbrite and go to every event you can. That'd be my 2 points.
I fully support on this one, and still UK Europe remains a nomination. And if you go to US, always like a breakfast meeting, and people go home, and no chance to drink. But UK is still there, Guinness or ale or some non-cold beers waiting. So I fully agree with that point. Thank you very much. Right, good timing. So maybe we can, before wrap up, maybe would you give them or the cohort any advices for the future challenges, especially for the startups from Yura-san, please?
Based on my experience working with startups from the CRO point of view, supporting them through their journey towards acquisition, IPO, what I can say with confidence is that in terms of the science and technology, Japan is okay. That's not a problem. I think the challenges will be to getting connected into that network. As we just talked, it's not just Japan that does the nemawashi, right? And for cultural reasons, perhaps not being in the English sphere of world, Japan has been slightly at a disadvantage in getting into that unofficial sort of network, which is what I think, knowing the right people. I mean, sometimes they have people who've known each other for years, perhaps went to school together, have worked before, and for the Japanese to get into that network can be a bit challenging. I think the mentors here and people like Rodney can help you in that, and then just getting to know them, just go there and don't be too modest. Your science and technology is probably is okay. I just said probably, but no, it's okay. It's super. And then just concentrate on the commercialization, get to know the right people, and you know, just do it. And yeah, I think that would be my advice.
Thank you, Rodney.
I didn't mention, but I really ought to, that I think there's a lot of emphasis placed on only the Golden Triangle. And the Golden Triangle is Cambridge, Oxford, and London. And of course, in London, you've got Imperial and UCL and King's and Oxford and Cambridge. It's great. I'm not saying it's not world leading. Having said that, there are some excellent other regions of the UK. And as someone from Scotland, I must mention the Scottish system. The Scottish system, University of Dundee in particular, is doing really interesting things. And the translation between bench to commercialization in Scotland is a lot faster because it's a smaller country. So that's something to look at. So when you're planning your trip there, don't just be Southeast focused. Think about the Manchester ecosystem as well. So that's one point. And my final point would be, really, I couldn't say this, I want to tattoo it on my own head. But please think about when you do present, do think about what's listened to and what's spoken.
Thank you. So your mentor will guide you for the other.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Yasuko-san?
Okay, as a side of like supporting like Unicorn family, like please like always feel free to ask anything to us. Since I name it as Unicorn family, so like we would like you all to be like family, like close each other, feel safe each other and so on. And also personally, like London or like UK is one of the favorite place since I studied before. So when you go to the UK, London, I still remember lots of nice restaurants and cafes. So I mean, I can support you in that way too. Thank you.
Great. Chief Entertainment Officer. Right, thank you very much. I think this is a fun session. And if you got any questions, you have like a networking session in a 5 minutes time. So thank you very much for all the panelists. Thank you very much myself. Thank you.
はい、ありがとうございます。そうしました。はい、ですね。最後にクロージングリマーク。Sorry, it's in English. So, so the last part is closing remark by Matsunaga-san, please.
これでいけるのかな？日本語、英語？英語で。はい。Yes, thank you. I didn't know I do the closing remarks, so I use the slide I use in the morning. So just few slides before closing the remarks. So this is said like a Unicorn Plus. So what you can add from the Unicorn program. So don't just participate program. You have to be proactive to gain many things. And just made a slide. There are 4 types of the startup leaderships. And one is program user. The second is they don't use programs, but more like using a one-on-one network. The third one is called gunshot people. So just go to the many programs or events, etc. The fourth one is wait and see. So my technology is brilliant, so people are coming if I showcase. There's a statistics for some report, and which type of a startup are successful or not. Can you imagine which type is maybe Mizuno-san? Cool, thank you very much. Thank you. Rodney? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sorry, Mizuno-san. But statistics said that kind of a result. So the program users gain like a 30 to 40% winning. And the one-on-one, the people gain more, like more than half successful. And the gunshot type, because they are not strategic, so the lower ratio. And if you are waiting, you will lose your business. So this is the all statistics set. So my message is, yeah, you can achieve to this type, but you have to, you will need like a gateway. So this will be the Unicorn program. So utilizing this program, these programs, but not only that, you have to be independent. For example, Auxilart, they doing many good things, and thank you, using Samuel as a private mentor. So once you create a one-on-one network, you have to use, you can use those networks. Don't be shy. So this is my message. Second message is, sorry, part of Japanese. And there's many like showcasing events. One is an international trade show, like a Bio International coming in a few weeks' time. Second one is a government support event, like a JETRO event, etc. And the third one is a program with a large-scale cluster. So like you can do showcasing in London, or you can showcase in like a GSK event, etc. I think the third one is more successful, which is my feeling. So international trade show is good, but all the salesperson are there. So if you want to go to sell your product, not many people listen. So they just convert your message to R&D, etc. So if there's any events called large-scale clusters, you can use this event to be more like gaining a win. So awareness, education, connection, entry, and expansion is a kind of like a golden triangle way to be successful for the startups. And I think the Unikorn program is located in here. So before entering the ecosystems, our mentor plus Link-J will support. However, maybe you can be more independent for the connection to enter and the expansion. And this is like an additional support that we are thinking. So my company is located in the Howell campus in near Oxford. And we are welcoming many startups plus small SMEs or large corporate. There's a brochure there you can pick up later. There's cluster conducted by the UK RI, Research and Innovation. This is like a Monkasho equivalent. And they do life science and energy, quantum and AI and space. For example, like a European Space Agency and Airbus for the satellite, they are located in here. And this is quite large, like a 60 Tokyo Dome, the size, and 7,500 people, scientists, mainly from Oxford universities, are located, and 1 hour drive from Heathrow Airport. So it's a very convenient site. And yes, we will use, so welcome, we will conduct a Howell Japan Day. So this is my company organizing by support from the British government. So you are welcoming to this event. And the benefit for the Unikorn startups will be that you will be invited to like 4 Japanese the pitches programs, which I chair the session, part of the session. There's 4 sessions from government, and the second one is for the space and the AI sector. The third one is my session, life science energy session. And the UK cohort, you can use other time, other business. But you are more than welcome to use this experience to expose your technology and the business to the large cohort. So this is my message. And yeah, thank you very much.